Hi, welcome to Camp Happy Mail. Thank you for being here with me today. We've got a thank you card to make today. I actually have 3 thank you cards to make, and today we're going to do the first of those. This background I made a couple of days ago. It was made by ink blending some Catherine Polar inks through a stencil. I didn't record it when I did it because I was actually sitting in front of the TV when I made this. So there isn't footage of actually making this, but the process is really simple. You take your card base. This is watercolor paper. I am doing a 100-day project this year where I'm making 100 backgrounds in 100 days, and then all of those will eventually be made into cards. But because I needed a thank you card, 3 of them actually, I pulled 3 of my backgrounds to make into those cards. These were all basically made the same way. So you have your card base, in which case this is watercolor paper again. I laid the stencil down on top of it. I pulled out some of my favorite Catherine Polar inks, and I used picket fence ink pouncers and pounced the ink on it. Pulled the stencil off. I made some other backgrounds off of that stencil, which we'll get to in another video. And then this is the background that I have. Super excited how this turned out. The stencil is from Amazon. It was like a pack of 32 stencils. Terrific pack. I'll link it below. I've not used all of them yet, but they are what made these 2. This one was from a Colorful Life Designs, I believe. Anyways, back to this one. So I've got a piece of glitter cardstock here. It's kind of like a cranberry color. This is also from Amazon. You can get a great selection of glitter paper and specialty paper from Amazon, and it's relatively inexpensive. I do like the specialty papers, but man, I hate paying the price for them. So I went hunting around Amazon and was able to find a real nice pack of paper, and I will link the paper below as well. Not exactly sure what I want to use on this one yet. I know what the idea is. I know what I'm going to make, but that's probably going to be for the centerpiece. I don't know what dies I'm going to use yet. Probably going to make this standard 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card, which means I'll probably use the rectangle dies. I probably won't use that one. These were just word dies that say thanks and thank you. Got some wonky stitched ones here. I just pulled out everything that was a rectangle, basically. And because this has sharp edges on it, I probably will not do the rounded ones, for example. So we'll put those over here. And I'm not going to use the circles today. So this one has dots on it, and this one has stitches on it. So I think I'm going to use this one in combination with the regular Hero Arts dies that don't have any stitching or fancy things to them. And we'll put these ones to the side for now, as well as these until we need them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this piece down so that I can start to cut the pieces from these. My card base is a standard 4 1/4 by 5.5, which is an A2 in the US. I get my card bases from envelopes.com. They come already pre-cut, pre-scored, so all you have to do is fold them. I do it that way because it saves a lot of wear and tear on my trimmer and on my wrist. I've got some wrist issues, so it just makes it a lot easier, and to me it's worth it to save that wear and tear. You can simply take a sheet of letter, 8.5 by 11, cut it in half and score it, and you would have the same thing. So, what I need to do is, for cutting out my layers, I need a background layer first, which I've got to decide, do I want to do a shimmer background layer, which I think we'll do this first. And we're going to use the dotted dies first. So these are Waffle Flower Crafts. They are called A2 Piercing Layers die. So now I need to figure out which one I need to make that background layer. And if I want some white background showing, which would essentially be like this, and then our panel, and I think that would be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a rectangle out of this paper. So I've cut that piece, and I'm not sure you can see the detail on that of the stitching, or it's not stitching, but it's a little dotted border. It definitely shows up in person. It just gives it a little something extra. So now, instead of just gluing our panel down on top of this and wasting this whole centerpiece, we are going to cut other pieces out of this piece, and you're never going to know it. So what I need to do now is figure out which die I need to cut out this piece. So this is the next size down. So I think we'll go ahead and cut it out of this piece. I am doing all the die cutting off screen because you've seen me die cut before. Okay, and I actually didn't mean to cut this piece with the dotted ones, but it'll be okay. So this piece will go here. So now I want another layer of this red, which I'm going to cut out of this same red paper. So I'll probably take the next one down. Oh, and I do have this piece left over, and I'm going to save this, of course, because we might use this for something else. Now, I do still have these pieces over here as well that I'm going to save, and we might use them on this card, or we might use them on another one. We'll see. Okay, so now I'm going to take our red piece, and then I'm going to cut this size out of the center of it. So now we have this backing frame, and I am going to fill in that centerpiece, but then this piece will cover it up, and then we'll put this piece down. But before we put this piece down, we're going to cut another piece out of this one, and it'll probably be this size. Okay, so this is our first frame piece, and then I did cut an inside piece for this. And that's mainly so that when we put the rest of this card together, so that the layers don't sag down in the middle, because we did cut the center out of all of these pieces that we're going to use. So it's that piece, and then we have our frame with the pattern on it, which will go like that, and I did cut one to fit in that one as well. So you're essentially putting down full pieces. And then we have this frame that will go over top of it, and then this piece. And then I have to decide if I want to cut down further and make another red frame, and then do a white layer that we would stamp thanks into, Or if we want to use one of these words that says thanks. So basically we would cut the thanks out of the red layer that's behind it. So this would be red, and then this would be either white or black on top of it. So let's see what this would look like. Just need to make sure that that's going to fit behind this piece. And actually I'm going to go ahead and cut this out of another piece instead of taking it out of the center of that one, just in case we decide to do this layer instead. Okay, so what I've done is I opted to go ahead and cut out of another piece of red the shadow layer for the thanks, and then I cut out a white one and a black one. And this is now going to be a horizontal card instead of a vertical card. So we'll line these up again. And then we'll have our thanks on here, and we can go black, which is kind of dark, of course, because it's black. Or we can go white. And I think I'm going to lean more towards the white, but I just wonder if it's too much white with the pattern. We're going to do it. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've die cut 2 more of these, thinking that maybe the white will be raised up a little bit. But let's go ahead and put the rest of this together. And basically, as you can see, I'm just taping the white center pieces to these so that we can glue them down onto the panel. So let's go ahead and do that part. This is Barely Arts glue. You can use whatever glue you want. All glues are pretty much the same. So it's just a matter of your personal preference, what you want to use. And this is just simply layering the pieces back together. Probably one of the easiest cards you could make. But I didn't want to do a whole lot of complicated stuff to this because the background was so complex. Now I probably should have laid this piece down first before I put that last red layer down, just to make sure I'm lining this up the right way with the rest of the pattern, but I think I got it the right way. Okay, to do the layering of the words, I'm just going to squeeze some glue out onto a piece of scrap paper. And I'm going to use my sponge dauber to apply the ink. And then I'm going to set this one down on top of it. And sorry I had to pull this off the camera view, but to get them lined up right, I need to be able to actually see what I'm doing. Okay. And there's our first layers. And then we'll do it again. And I think this time I won't stick it down on the paper. We'll just do it right on the desktop here to do the last layer. Then we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to turn it over this time. Put the glue on the back of it to be able to put it on this piece. And then we'll go ahead and press it down good with an acrylic block. So now that's set pretty well. So we're going to go ahead and put this piece down here, and I think we're going to pop it up on some dimensionals. Now, the nice thing about the dimensionals, these are Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And they're hexagons. And the nice thing about them is whether you get the small ones or the large ones, they're all the same height. So I'm able to mix and match the small ones and the large ones to be able to cover up the back of this sentiment. And now we will center this on the front of our card. Which I think is going to be about right there. And we'll press that down. And that, my friends, is our thank you card for today. One simple background panel made with some stenciling and some pretty glitter paper and the word thanks. And there we have it. And I think it turned out pretty nice. So thank you for joining me today. And I hope this is a design that you'll give a try, because it's super, super simple. All you need is one set of nesting dies to be able to achieve this. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed seeing this coming together today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks. Thanks.